First, in order to know how we may fight this problem, we need to understand what is actually global warming. In this context, science can help us. Everything begins with the solar light that reaches our planet. Usually, most part of this light radiation is reflected by the surface of the Earth. However, the greenhouse effect takes action in this process. Some of the gases that compose the Earth's atmosphere retain part of that light. This process is essential to the existence of life on Earth due to stabilization of the temperature so organisms can survive. But the more greenhouse gases concentrate in the atmosphere, the more heat gets locked up in the molecules, what makes the planet even hotter than it was supposed to be.
Consequently, a lot of rough things happen to nature balance. The rapid rise in greenhouse gases is raising the average temperature on Earth, which justifies the melting of glaciers on the extreme poles of a planet. Associated to that, the salt concentration in the oceans decreases because of the rising water level in the sea. And by the reason, many species, not only the aquatic ones, can be extincted during the vital dependency on the factor. The biodiversity cannot adapt so much faster as the need to survive, altering drastically the natural structure. Apart from these problems, global warming seems to be because of hotter days during the summer, more frequently and intense natural disease during the climate change, and so on.
Reduce our carbon footprint. It's a concept defined by how much greenhouse gases an individual emits in the nature. It's an unusual and practical way to understand not just how much we are affecting nature by doing simple daily things like go to the work by car, but how we can avoid doing those things. In spite of what we could do to help nature, there are a lot of things world leaders could do, like creating biofuels from organic waste, protecting our forests, which take a really important role in the prevention of global warming, and most important, reduce the use of fossil fuel because it's one of the biggest collaborators of the production of greenhouse gases. By the way, solar, wind, nuclear energy, and molecular hydrogen are the indicated ways to replace petroleum and natural gas.
Accessible ways of preventing this issue are being thought in order to stop global warming before it overcharges nature at all. One of them is setting a price on carbon, which is the most effective way to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. A price on carbon helps shift the burden for the damage back to those who are responsible for it and who can reduce it. Instead of dictation who should reduce emissions, where, and how, the price for carbon gives an economical signal and polluters decide themselves whether to reduce emissions, discontinue their pollution activity, or continue polluting and pay for it.
More ways to help the environment can be reduce the consumption of products made from resources such as coal and oil, and instead of use them, it's much better to use biodegradable ones or change some habits. Example of those are you can choose a bottle instead of a plastic cup, taking with you to every place you go. Consume less, just buy things you really need, etc. Choose actions may seem small. However, if we all do that together, you can really make global warming something not to worry about.